Watch out.
It's a skill I've developed. I picked it up in Oklahoma. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so this one, I'll do one for my cousins, my family first. It's a little bit about where I come from and why doing things like this appeals to me. It's just the way I'm built. A letter arrived the other day from my grandma. It included an update on all the grandkids, the great-grandkids, a few aunts and uncles, my parents, the renovations in the living room, the moles in the garden, a photo of me and Thelma, that's my grandma, and a reminder that her life is only getting shorter. She tells me she prays for all of us all the time, and I'm willing to bet this even includes the moles. Thelma is a worrier. Always has been, always will be. Same with my mother, same with her sisters, same with me. My family, they worry about love, about money, car insurance, health insurance, good credit, and the future of all these things. And I know it is all for the sake of those they care about most. They want us kids to be safe and happy. In short, they want us to not have to worry. When I was 6 years old, my grandma gave me this set of worry dolls from Mexico. She said to tell each one a worry before placing it under my pillow, and by morning the worry would be gone. And I thought this was an excellent invention and quickly put every doll to work. And one night, while being tucked to bed, my parents discovered a veritable village of worry dolls living under my pillow. And they expressed their concern that one so small should have so many worries, and I started to cry. I told them how I worried about world hunger and world peace, about being kidnapped and carried away, about the environment, the holes in the ozone layer, poverty and racism, about making friends at school. I even worried about the worry dolls. They didn't frickin' work. I would wake up in the morning and find this troubled tribe, and everything entrusted to them the night before would come flooding back to me. My world became no less distressing in the days that followed, and the older I get, the more I wish I didn't sell those poor little people for 5 cents at a garage sale. I mean, at least then I could delegate my dilemmas and hold daily meetings with each anxiety-riddled representative to see how things were coming along. But today, it's just me left to worry alone, smothering under pillows of responsibility to self, to debt, to family, to the future, to all of those stuck riding this planet in circles with me, and I sit and I worry still about world hunger and world peace, about being kidnapped and carried away, about the environment, the holes in the ozone layer, all the problems that come with poverty and racism. I worry that my college degree stands for nothing, that there is no hope for desperate situations, that addictions might never be mastered, that love is as much a phase as hipster fashion. I worry that hipster fashion is not a phase. I worry I may never see my grandmother again, and there's no one to blame for that but myself. I worry that the worst is yet to come, and in our comfortable, softened, veal calf existence, we will be too fickle and weak in the knees to stand up for ourselves with some righteous conviction. I worry that I am the only one who feels this way. And I worry that everyone feels this way, but is already too scared to say it. So I sit and I worry so that one day no one else will have to. Thanks.
Oh, that was a woo.
I heard a woo.
I heard a woo too.
See, she's really good. Okay, so I started this tour to get over a girl. Did I tell you guys that yet? I told you guys that. Yeah. To get over a girl, and I decided that girls are dumb, and I don't want anything to do with girls on this tour, and so I grew a beard, and I wanted it to be my anti-girl beard, like my girl-repellent beard, okay? It hasn't worked. But like, when did beards get cool? Like, every little hipster I know has a little beard. He's like 19, this tall, this skinny, and dude will have the rockin' dreadlocked beard, so I don't know. I'm just doomed. Girls are dumb. So anyway, here's a poem about girls. The place where I am now, like, I'm so kind of like frustrated with this society. Like, everything is sexualized. Like, every look. Like, if I was to come to you and say, "Hey, how's it going?" It would sound like, "Hey, how's it going?" Especially if I did my lip like that. But like, I just want to talk. Like being on the road is like really freaking tiring and lonely, and God, everything is uprooted, and I just want to talk to people, you know, and take it back to where not everything had so many sexual strings attached. Like back, like in 6th grade, where your mom had to take you to the mall, like movie with your little 10-year-old friend who was in your class, and you're really scared because you're in the dark, sitting next to them, and you feel that little oval of flesh that's shared because your elbows are touching, and then you feel like, okay, here it is, I'm gonna go for it, and suddenly you're like, dun dun, like that, and you're like, oh my god, and then she's like, dun, and you're like, oh, it's on to the break of dawn, and you hold on to each other the whole time, and you're like, yes, home run. You know, like I yearn for the times when like the little pinky was like, that's what that's called. I yearn for the time when that was a home run. So this is what that's about. It's called falling in like. I know, it's dreadfully cute, and then I'm very emo. On my MySpace page, I'm like, you know, that emo look. But it's the beard, it doesn't work when you go, it looks like you're homeless and like, I don't know, got throw up or something. Anyway, this is falling in like. You make me feel goofy. Goofy like, I blush when someone mentions your name. Goofy like, I have a bazillion things I want to tell you when you're not around, but face to face I just stare at my toe making circles on the ground like I'm all thumbs and no place to put them. Like, I just want to write you a note that says, do you like me? Yes, no, or maybe. Oh, whatever random cool I've been able to harness leaps from my grasp when you enter the room, and I feel old school. And by that, I mean grade school, like back in the day when the space between wanting to touch someone's hand and actually touching it could be filled with lifetimes of passionate yearning. Girl, I don't want to make out with you. I just want to make a fort with you, right in the middle of the living room with all the sheets and all the blankets and every chair in the whole house. A soft labyrinth scented with fabric softener and hot chocolate with marshmallows, laying on our tummies on the avocado shag carpeting and eating golden grams right from the box. We'd be the best spellers in all the 6th grade spelling bee, and we'd spend our recesses in the library, quizzing each other over dueling dictionaries and encyclopedias and having cutthroat Scrabble wars. And you would always accuse me of cheating, but I still swear that ishkabibble is a real word. And if you got the chicken pox, I would ride my bike across town on a Saturday and climb in through your bedroom window to hang out with you while your parents were shopping so that I could get chicken pox too. Then we could both stay home from school and talk on the phone all day and watch game shows and Twilight Zone reruns together and take breaks only for dinner and the bathroom until it was bedtime. And we whispered into the phone under the covers in the dark until we got really sleepy. And I would say, "Are you asleep?" And you would say, and I would say a little bit later, "Are you still awake?" And you wouldn't say anything. And I would just lie there, listening to the sound of your breathing. On my homemade Valentine's Day card, I would write, "I like you," in sparkles and glue. Only my handwriting is so bad, all my K's look like V's, but we decide that's better anyway. I live you. We'd make pinky swears while biting our thumbs and cross our hearts and hope to die promises with words like always and forever and never ever ever. Promises you can only make when you're 10 and don't know any better. Back when 3 weeks at summer camp was an eternity and a change of schools a disaster. Back before pimples, before underarm hair, before bra straps and makeup, before graduation and college and graduation and real life. Back before resumes and jobs and careers and mortgages and marriage and divorce and debt and disappointment. Back when summers lasted forever. And our very first kiss on the cheek was the weirdest, scariest, most awkward and wonderful thing in the whole wide world. That's how I like you, like a whole freaking lot. So which is it? Yes? No? Or maybe? I forgot my book over here. There was something else I was going to read for you. Oh dear God, where is it? Okay, talk amongst yourselves real quick. La la la, la la la. Do you like the shirt I'm wearing? I got it at a thrift store. Ask me how much I bought it for.
How much you buy it for?
$2.
I don't believe you.
It's for real? Okay, I'm lying. It wasn't $2. It was $6. But it was at one of those. God damn it! It's not in here. God. Okay, I'll do a different
It's
one.
not like that's your only other
I
poem
know
you
it's not
got.
like that, but this was my girl part of the set. So, for real. Okay, so instead I'll do my dork part of the set. Look where we're at. You know, this is just like, this is like a haven for dorkosity, and it's like I feel very, very nice about being here. Okay, I'm really passionate about this, so if I start yelling, just know I'm very passionate about this. This pisses me off. I'm about to get pissed. Y'all ready for me to get pissed? Give me a what?
What?
The most lackadaisical what ever. What? Yeah! Go like this. What? What? That's what I'm talking about. You can be like my like car alarm. What? 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 You just stand there by my car.
Okay.
I don't have a car. Stand there by my cats. If anybody fucks with my cats, just fucking karate chop. This is a poem I wrote. There are few things in this life that are strictly black and white. Most issues float somewhere in the middle of a vast sea of gray, open to a myriad conflicting interpretations. But I am here to tell you, there are such things as absolute truths, undeniable facts that rise from that wishy-washy sea of opinions and stand resolutely, like Venus in a clamshell for all to see. I am talking about incontrovertible principles that are impossible to deny, of which I will now list 5. 1, the sun will rise and the sun will set. 2, all who are born will one day die. 3, Van Halen with David Lee Roth was infinitely superior to Van Hagar. 4, crunchy peanut butter is not only irrefutable proof of God's existence, but it also shows she loves us very much. And people who like smooth peanut butter hate the baby Jesus. Do you like smooth peanut butter? And 5, which is the reason I am here right now in Quimby's. I am speaking of the one remaining sterling truth no reasonable person can deny. Pluto is a freaking planet! So what? A bunch of self-important professors got bored one day and decided to get back at all the cruel people who wouldn't date them in high school but were knocking Pluto's standing in the universe down to dwarf planet and renaming it 134340. And why? Because Pluto isn't like the other planets. Pluto's smaller than most moons. Pluto's got a bit of a strange orbit. Wah, freaking wah. Really, who in this room has never been considered an oddball? An outcast, special. Let him that hath never been considered a dweeb cast the first meteoroid. Pluto is like the chubby goth girl lurking at the edge of the solar system and staring longingly at the cosmic dance floor filled with all the popular planets. Ew, look at me, I'm Saturn, look at my freaking ring. Ew, look at me, I'm Jupiter, I'm so deep, look at my third eye. All these planetary John Lennons and Paul McCartneys vying for celestial attention while poor Ringo gets pushed to the edge of the universal stage. And let me tell you, without Ringo, the Beatles would have amounted to nothing. Ringo put the beat into the Beatles, and without him, they would have just been the Beatles. Without chubby goth girls, gay high school boys would never have bosoms to cry upon. I never would have had bosoms to cry upon. Pluto is the symbol for every kid who's never fit in. We need Pluto as proof that no matter how small you are, how separated from mainstream society, how abnormal, how weird you are, you too can be someone worth looking up to. You too can be a planet. I don't care what they say. I don't give a good goddamn about science. Forget science, this is about belief. And I believe that Pluto was a planet long before these bitter eggheads were mewling and puking on their mother's knees, and when they're all dead and buried along with their hoity-toity ideas and the universe has forgotten their blink of existence, Pluto will still be out there, watching over this tiny, blue, gay planet from afar, like the chubby goth girl best friends it always was. Call Pluto what you will, but remember this. A rose by any other name is still a freaking planet. We give it for Erin.
gonna be Pantera, but it's on my iPod. Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
That's Erin.
We were having a little business meeting there. So, everybody's had the experience of being like stopped on the road, like when you're just walking down the street, of somebody being like, "Hey, you got any spare change?" Or like, you know, "I need a light," or just something like asking for, "I need a beer, a taco," whatever that might be. And so we've, I don't know, is there anybody who's not had this experience? Okay, so then we'd be in a little trouble. So I have a couple of stories about that. The first one is the very first time I was alone when this happened. So this is when I was a teenager, and you know, normally like you'd either be with your family or your friends, and so you kind of go with that group think, like you kind of just do what you think the group is doing. You know, you just kind of like whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so the first time that I was alone when this happened, I had a bit of a different reaction to it, and it surprised me, and this is a story about that. He asked if I can spare $1. My fingers form a fist around President Lincoln's face in the front pocket of my skin-tight plaid pants. "No, man," I say, turning toward him, "I don't have any money." But when our eyes meet, I see his skin sag, unsatisfied by my canned response, an obvious irony of just having left a school night concert. He stands statuesque, chiseled out of solid sidewalk, draped in drop cloths of unripped jeans, a single flannel shirt his only barrier against the chill of late October rolling in with the morning fog up the Ohio River Valley. His smooth-shaven cheeks and blonde hair curled round his ears set off his sneer sharp as a slap in my face for lying. He looked me up and down, like a father would an ungrateful child, his pride smoldering in the sludge-rusted gutter grate, and I realized too late he is not just another drunk, and I want to talk to him. Ask him questions like, "What the hell happened? You are asking some teenager for money. Where is your job? Where is your family?" Instead, all I do is just stare at the concrete, wishing he would stop staring at me. His eyes broiling my insecurities to crisp shards of guilt until the headlights from my ride home crest over the hill. A premature relief exhales at the arrival of my easy exit, when the stranger breaks the silence and spits the same polite posturing that flowed so easily from me when I refused to engage his request for spare change. "You go on home," he says. "You sleep in your nice warm bed. You have a nice night." Framed in headlights, frozen as my asphalt tongue, I want to tell him I'm sorry. I want to know how to fix it. I want to talk to him until he's had a chance to explain it all. But I've got a curfew, and a parent waiting in the car who wouldn't believe me if I told them. There is far less danger in talking to strangers than there is in ignoring them. Thanks. I like to have my stuff memorized, but I get rusty sometimes, and my family makes me nervous. Sorry, guys. Just being honest. I love you. I'm glad you came. I've never performed in front of any of them before, except my brother. This week. Twice. And I can't find my freaking phone. Hi, Eric. This is why it's so awesome. He invited me to come along because he's such a pro with the storytelling, and I end up sometimes forgetting that I'm actually like on tour with him, and I just like pretend I'm in the audience, and I'm like over there. I'm supposed to be holding the camera still, but I'm like cracking up. So like half the shots are just like me with the shoulders, and the whole thing is shaking. But I'm learning. So here you go. And this is in Austin, right? So in Austin, on every like median of the highway, when you get off, there's somebody standing there. Like there's it doesn't matter where you are in the city, everybody's got it. There's somebody with a sign there, like trying to sell you something or asking you for money or whatever the case may be. And this is my favorite story of those types of encounters. At the corner of Cesar Chavez and the frontage road swaggers the most fierce panhandling hand-me-down you've ever met. She wears her scowl like a crown. 2 rhinestone eyes, tarred black from years of neglect, stare back reflecting nothing. Sunk set in original casting and they ain't going nowhere, so skip the spare change. She knows her antique wrinkles, when woven over her bone frame, are worth dollars. I know you've got $1, she'll shout. Screeching scratches into your driver's side window with her crown, inking X's over your eyes with the residue of her own. She is grave robber, greeter of Gomorrah, ushering on waves of funeral processions every 30 seconds, assuring us by her constant presence we would most certainly hate ourselves more should we lose grip and slip that perilous distance from our precarious single paycheck pedestals and not die, condemned to wander among the living, wearing barely more than trenches in a roadside. From your carefree crystal afternoon window flows a funky, sissy strut, and you roll to a stop at the center of the universe. You don't give a shit who hears you humming along off key. You, hey you, I know you've got $1. With that, your soundtrack makes out more like some commercial for suede skin and pearls playing some 3-station static TV set in a welfare lobby. Her gangster mannequin hands are calling you out from 3 lanes over. But it's okay. Today you are off the hook. Today you will not be lying when you say you have no change, not even $1, not even a nickel. I take credit, she threatens from the dotted line, and swaggers off in a funk. Thanks. Give it up for Big Papa E! Woo!
Okay, so thank you all very much for coming, because we had no idea if anybody was actually going to come, because we called up Quimby and we're like, can we do poetry? And they were like, sure, why not? Like, aw, look, I want to do some poetry. But you guys actually came, so that was pretty cool. And I did a Google search. Okay, do you ever Google? I'd Google myself all. You know you do. You're the one who laughing the most. You're like, I do it all the time. Ex-boyfriends, everybody. So I Google myself all the time, and there's like Quimby's and Big Papa E and Erin Livingston all over the Chicago papers, so that was pretty cool. Everybody heard about it. How'd you hear about it? Yes, you?
My friend Kevin.
Oh, duh, that doesn't count. That's right. Half you are family, half you are related, so you count.
Because they love me.
Because you like a waffle. Look at her, isn't she impressive? Look at her. Okay, so, okay, I'm gonna do another part of like the girl side. I'm sorry. I got that on my mind. But then I'm gonna get all hardcore and be like, oh, and lift heavy things, oh, and like, and drink beer, later. Not really. Okay, so this is part of my emo stuff. This is yeah, I get crushes on every single person I meet for about 30 seconds. Some people for longer, like you, 45 seconds. But it was the hat. It was the hat and the curls. Okay. You, I'm still crushing on. So sorry, you might have to beat me up later. So this is about wanting the opposite to be true. Like it's called crush worthy. I want someone to have a crush on me for a change. To notice when I don't come to class and wonder if I'm okay. To get nervous when I enter the cafe, to fumble with her papers and books, to pick at her clothing and check her reflection in salt shakers and napkin holders. To catch her breath when she sees me from across campus, tug on her best friend's collar and point with her eyes and whisper loudly, there he is, Big Papa E. To run around the block as quickly but as nonchalantly as she can, just so she can walk past me, make eye contact, and smile. To look into my big brown eyes, such long lashes, from across the room and think, yes. To look at my full kissing lips and think, oh yes. To hear my voice and imagine how her name would sound if if I said it, if I whispered it, if I want someone to make up nicknames for me, to talk about me in code. Oh yeah, I saw Backpack Boy today in the library in the romantic lit section. I saw Steel-Toe Boots Boy talking to some girl in the bookstore today. I want someone to go home every night and check her answering machine just in case, and check the phone cord, and check the battery, and check the tape, and make sure the goddamn blinking light isn't burnt out just in case I call. I want someone to say, you're wrong about him, because you don't know him the way I know him. Because she just knows that I'm a good person. Must be a good person. I gotta be a good person because I write poetry about my grandma and my cats. And because she likes me so much for some reason, some unexplainable supernatural reaction to me. I want someone to mark her calendar. He talked to me today. Shut up, you know you want that. I want her to wonder what I would smell like after a long warm sleep under a down comforter. To close her eyes and picture what her kids would look like. To write silly, wretched, wonderful poetry about me for a change.
All right.
Okay, this is the last of my girl poems, and I've got it out of my system, and I'll be all hardcore and jumping around and yelling and screaming and kicking stuff and stealing books later. Oh, speaking of books, oh hey, you should never steal books, especially from poor poets who eat based on what they do. Guess what? We don't have a job. This is our job. Living life is our job. So if you would like to be a part of that and take some of our words home, we have books to sell, and you can have them if you like. They're really good books. She made hers with her thumbs and her spit and her elbow grease at Kinko's, and I got mine on Amazon.com. They're not even my books. They're just books I bought. So if you want to buy them, that's cool. Here's a little story. When I was a kid, my mother would take me shopping for school clothes every August at a department store called Mervyn's. We went there because they had a good selection of Garanimals clothing. Garanimals was a clothing line for kids that enabled them to pick their own clothes and be ensured a perfect match every time. Everything had a tag in the shape of an animal, like a purple giraffe, or a yellow zebra, or a green hippo, and you just matched up the tags. My mom would take me to the shirt rack and let me loose to pick whatever shirt I wanted. Then I'd bring the shirt over to her for final approval, and we'd head for the pants rack. I'd hold the tag of the shirt in one hand and flip through all the pants looking for the right tag. And most of the time, I'd find exactly what I wanted, and I'd give this little shout of victory, yes, and bring it back to my mom. It was very empowering to make my own clothing choices, and my mother liked it because I wouldn't mix stripes and polka dots. I now find myself wishing that people came with Garanimals tags. Imagine all the time you'd save by avoiding relationships that were doomed to failure. Instead of banging your head on the wall for months at a time and wondering what you were doing wrong and what you could try to make this relationship work, and going to therapy and counseling in an effort to force things to gel, then going through this horrible breakup experience that left you drained and tired and wanting to go on tour. You just know at the very beginning whether or not you should be together. Imagine meeting someone in a bar or a poetry reading or a party, and you start a conversation, and there's laughter and nods of agreement, and they're cute and you're feeling cute and you're making all kinds of eye contact, and suddenly 4 hours have gone by so effortlessly that you've barely noticed. Then it's time to whip out the tags. You'd reach into your pocket and pull out your orange rhinoceros and show it to them. And they'd kind of smile, nod their head, and reach into their backpack and pull out a pink zebra. And you'd both laugh, that kind of wistful laugh, because you'd both be thinking, oh man, that's too bad. We were getting along great and everything. But in the back of your mind, you'd be thinking, that was close. And you'd be relieved because now you'd be able to concentrate on a friendship, not have to muck it up trying to force it into some kind of hopeless romantic entanglement that would leave you both unable to be in the same room together. You'd save so much time and heartache and frustration. Imagine the joy of finding your true soulmate purple lying and knowing this is it. This is the one you've been searching for. This was the fabled perfect match. We could set up clubs. The brown pony room. The magenta kitty lounge. Where you'd have to show your tag to get in and you'd be guaranteed a perfect partner. Dating services and personnel ads will be revolutionized. No more lengthy descriptions to read or cryptic codes to figure out, just silver tiger seeks same. Bam. Search services could offer help in finding those not-so-common lemon leopards and tangerine iguanas. I feel like my Your Animals tag is a green, blue, and orange striped duck-billed platypus. And the only other green, blue, and orange striped duck-billed platypus on the entire planet is some 67-year-old woman in outer Mongolia that I'll never meet in a million years. I'm sure the whole point of living is to get something positive from every relationship. And just because a relationship doesn't go all the way to full-blown till death do us part, doesn't mean it wasn't a positive relationship full of wonderful feelings and emotions and events. But still, it'd be nice to know. And I keep thinking about the times when I'd find the perfect shirt at Mervyn's, and I'd run to the pants section and look through every single pair and not find the right tag. I'd look at everything 3 or 4 times and have my mother look until finally, with my head hanging low and my shoulders all slumped, I'd heave a heavy little kid sigh and settle for something that kind of sort of matched, but not perfectly, and hope that no one noticed, especially me. Erin Livingston, oh my gosh, we got some more stuff to do. Hey, can I have some of your drink?
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind, go.
We're going to share 2 more with you, and we'll hear some more from Big Poppy. And this, the one I'd like to share with you, it's my favorite poem to tell, and Kevin's heard it a lot. Sorry. But it's my favorite, and these people haven't heard it yet, so I have to. Sometimes I wish I could talk. You know, you'd think I hadn't been doing this for 2 months already, like, really. This is a story about the first time I just kind of like picked up and left after I lived in Indiana for a while, and I just decided, no, I got to get out of the Midwest. I'm done. And so anything that didn't fit in my car stayed there, and then I moved to Austin. I drove through the night, like 17 hours. I was so excited to get there. And then where I was staying, I needed to pay rent in like -3 days. So I took the first job that I was offered, and this is a story about that. And stick with me through the first line, because it gets kind of awkward, but it'll make sense. Okay. The pimps provide a free fix, then bring their tricks to the kettle breakfast buffet to talk business. In the single occupancy bathroom, evidence of the woman's weaknesses mix among our collective menstrual trash. There's tissue wads that clot a cocaine-laced nosebleed, or a neon orange syringe cap wrapped in a single square stained by single red dots. And I see her almost every day around 12:30, knowing it's been over a year since she could use the night and her mattress for sleeping. Her strawberry blonde, tit-length curls and sour freckled face are fast approaching their expiration date. She even works the Motel 6 parking lot while she waits for her number 5 extra cheese, no pickles to go. And despite her addictions and working conditions, she still manages to tip me $1 and some change, which is more than that man in the business suit left. And I can't help but wonder if she's breaking the 20 he flipped on the dresser while on his way out her door and into mine. On one occasion, my boss asked me to tell this wrinkle-faced, white-haired whisper of a woman wearing even less clothing to settle up on her coffee in the corner booth and leave. I ask him, what for? He states the obvious. So I offer up in her defense, or is it in mine, that we all need to make a living. To me, she's just an old woman sitting, sipping bottomless coffee for $1.29. She isn't hurting a thing watching the mid-morning sunshine light shows glint off semi-cabs and pickup trucks as they barrel along the highway at an anonymous hum. I tell my boss I refuse to be the one to shatter her cracked window pane gaze and take away such precious moments of freedom. Because when my morning shift is done, I rush home and strip. White polo, apron, black belt, pants, underwear on down to skin, soaked in the stink of maple syrup, sour milk, and Clorox. Some days, I'm straight to the shower to drown it all off. Other days, I'm splayed out naked on the bedspread, counting dollars like some prostitute, rich off her renown and loyal set of regular customers. And I stuff it all in an envelope marked rent, and stuff it back under the mattress, wondering if the hooker has an envelope marked for groceries, or one for poetry, or one for student loans, like me. I wonder if her circumstance is temporary or experimental, or if the first time she traded her body for cash, she was working as a waitress in the South Austin Kettle. Thanks. Okay. And the last one I want to share is kind of a fun one. This is a portrait of me, like a couple of days before I quit my job. You know, before I made that call to Eric and was like, "Get me out of here!" Like that's really how it happened. He'd been talking like since I moved to Austin, so that was like 2 years ago. He'd been talking since then, like I'm gonna go on tour. No, really, I swear I'm gonna go on tour. And like this time, I really believed him, and so he was really gonna go, and so we made it happen. And because this is I'm taking you all there with me. This is me like 2.5 months ago, right before I quit. She wakes up every day around 8, hits the snooze until 10:15. She tells herself she's working on it. She eats breakfast if she's lucky, showers if everyone else is lucky, grabs a frozen meal for lunch if there are any left, arrives to work exactly 3 minutes late, 7 if there's traffic, cursing at least 2 drivers on the way no matter what. She takes her first call. She could be happier. She tells herself she's working on it. Second call, she will not walk out. She will pay off her debt. Third call, she will pay off her debt. She will pay off her debt and buy better groceries, eat conservative breakfasts of fresh fruit and rolled oats. She will buy a dog. No, she will rescue a dog from the concrete cubes of the shelter and pretend she's rescuing herself. She will name it Bridget Jones. They will be best friends forever, spending Saturday mornings at the dog park before meeting friends for coffee at pretentious vegan restaurants. Most evenings, however, she plans these exotic adventures to mountaintop getaways, camping in high sunlight, low-pressure air with Bridget Jones and a nameless, strapping 30-year-old boyfriend of unrealistic muscled proportions, bulging through those tan utility pocket hiking shorts and recycled fiber socks in the earth tones that accentuate the curve of his hairy but not too hairy calves. He will wear a green scarf to block sunburn and keep cool. She will wear a low ponytail with a few loose yet aptly placed wisps and carry a dusty curdled-edged map. They will both carry backpacks crammed with several months' worth of supplies. They will sleep little, spending nights instead howling and fucking to the full moon. They will wake with the woodland creatures to bathe in the adjacent waterfall and drink fresh spring water from hollow gourds, which reminds her how thirsty she is. Returns her attention to Judge Joe Brown and the diet soda she just spilled on her screen-printed sleep shirt and a pair of underwear going on day 4. She begins counting crumbs collecting on her too many pillows couch as she sucks down another sheath of Pringles sour cream powder halfway up her forearm. Sometimes her arm gets stuck and she really hates that. Her metabolism will not always be this merciful. She tells herself she's working on it. At this rate, she will never meet the man of her dreams, mostly because she doesn't know she doesn't really like men, mostly because she never looks men in the eye, mostly because she catches compliments like a drain holds water. She tells herself she's working on it, then locks the bathroom door behind her, brushes her teeth at least 5 times as she inspects every pore on her T-zone before catching her breath. She tells herself she's working on it and sets the alarm for 8. Thanks a lot.
Okay, we have 2 more poems and then that's it. Hey, do you guys have any questions about like what it's like to be on the road and be on the Greyhound for 22 hours at a time?
Because we know the answer to that.
Big, fat,
Like about
sweaty,
5 times.
floppy dude who like gets his ears sweat all over your shoulder and coughs. What was your question?
No more questions.
His question was, can you read a
That
poem?
was so funny. Ganu would just shut up and go home. Okay, so this is my book. she's selling books. She made them all herself. They're like those little bitty books, and they're sliding scale 3 to 5. My books are, they took a little bit more, but they're sliding scale of 10 to 15, whatever you feel. And if you give us a great big hug, that would be really awesome too. Although I'm a little sweaty right now. So check this out. We make videos of all this stuff, and we put clips, okay? And so check it out. We have a sign-up thing. So if you want to be told like when we have new clips, like say for instance for this particular reading, just put your email on here. We promise we won't spam you. And then we'll make sure that you get all the information about what we're doing and all the special stuff. We're going to put out a DVD and all kinds of crazy stuff, CDs and stuff. It's kind of wacky, kooky, and cool. So I'm going to put that next to you. You take care of it? Okay. Here's a pin in case anybody asks, okay? If they steal it, stick them. It's my favorite pin. They'll be freaking. I'm watching you, pal. Also, anybody have MySpace? Anybody have Facebook? Oh, so Facebook is the new MySpace, is the new Friendster. Remember Friendster? Does anybody do Friendster anymore? Friendster's like, Dad's on Friendster now. Anyway, we still do MySpace. We haven't figured out the whole Facebook yet, although I think we have one. But it's free range poetry. So facebook.com/ and we have put all of our videos. We have like fucking 60 videos or something like that. Okay. I can always tell when I'm bumming based on how many DVDs I rent and watch alone. Okay? Because like in Austin, Texas, which is like a great big college town, there's so many awesome video stores, and you can go there and there's just like all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'll be like, dude, Asian, horror, and I'll be like, oh, dude, dorkcore, ooh, mumblecore, And I'll get like a stack, and I'll be like, it's gonna last me the weekend. And I'll be there with my cats, just like, no, okay, I don't have TV, so I'll be there with my laptop on my tummy and my headphones all week. That's when I'm really freaking depressed. That's when I'm, and she ain't calling me back, God. You guys just don't have any love in your heart, do you? Is anybody bitter about love at all? Anybody disappointed in everybody here is in love? You almost moved. You almost moved your hand. Are you bitter about love?
I don't believe in it.
Really? Do you believe in making out?
Yeah.
Shameless.
What? Boy, brother gotta get some action on the road. God! I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'll give you my phone number later. No, I'm just kidding. So this is about that time when I'm really freaking bummed. It's called Immortalized in Celluloid. I want a soundtrack to play at certain important parts of my life, so I'll know they're important. If I hold someone's hand and wonderful, glorious choirs and a symphony orchestra kick in, I'll know it's true love. If weird, scary music plays as I walk into my dark and lonely apartment, alone, I'll know it's time to find a new place to live. If there is no music, I'll know that what is happening is not very important. The Department of Motor Vehicles and post offices are places with absolutely no soundtrack unless you're really unlucky. I want to run down the street as fast as I can in slow-mo, with buildings exploding and plate glass windows shattering and cars crashing and women and children screaming and bullets ricocheting and sirens blaring and lots of mayhem and destruction. Then I want everything back to normal and no one gets hurt. It just looks really freaking cool. I want people to hear my deep, meaningful thoughts in a whispery voiceover when I'm thinking deep, meaningful thoughts, so I won't have to actually tell them what's on my mind. They'll just know. When I want someone to know I'm being sincere, I want my face to completely fill that person's vision so they can see that I'm being sincere. I want to fast forward through the parts of my life I don't like. And when the good parts come, I want to hit pause. even better. I want to do something over and over and over again until I get it right. And I want the cutting room floor to be littered with breakups and arguments and embarrassments and speeding tickets and crying jags and sicknesses and vomiting, leaving only first kisses and paydays and sunsets and award ceremonies and graduations, promotions, and lots and lots and lots of passionate lovemaking. I want a talented team of writers to script everything I say so that I always say exactly what I'm supposed to say at exactly the right moment. I want all my dialogue to be lifted from the text of bestsellers and hit Broadway plays. I want all my love scenes choreographed and lit by a host of talented technicians who know how to make it all look just right. And let me tell you, it takes a lot of freaking movie magic to make a short, dumpy, bearded dude look just right. Music, of course, will be playing during these times. Regina Spektor, Joanna Newsom, Ani DeFranco. Music that enhances the love I feel inside for this person, whose inner voice I'll be able to hear as we make soft, focused love. I want my life to be lightweight and romantic and crowd-pleasing. I want all the loose ends tied up by the last 10 minutes. I want my performance to appear effortless. I want a happy ending. Okay. And this is the last poem of the entire time. Except for a haiku. Can I get to give you guys a dorky haiku? Okay, do you guys know what haiku is? 17 syllables, 5, 7, 5. Okay. I'm surrounded by, this is like geek headquarters. If I had this place at 14, oh my god, I'd still be here in the basement. Arguing with the people playing Dungeons and Dragons that Captain Kirk's middle name is freaking Tiberius. Okay, I actually still do that, but still, it's nice to be here in the place where it's okay to do that. But here's the haiku. It's a friend of mine wrote it. It's called George A. Romero presents Haiku of the Living Dead. Yes. That's my friend Michael P. Whalen. Hi Mike, I'm doing your poem again. And this is the poem that's going to be carved in my headstone because everything is right. This is the truest poem I've ever written. My name is Big Papa E, and I am a wussy boy. It's taken me a long time to admit it. I remember shouting in high school, "No, Dad, I'm not gay. I'm just a little sensitive." I tried to like guy stuff like hot rods and jet planes and Budweiser poster girls and freaking football, but I never got the hang of it, Dad. I don't know what's wrong with me. And then I saw him there on the silver screen, bigger than life and unafraid of earrings and hair dye and rejoicing in the music of The Cure and Morrissey and Susie and the Banshees, walking loud and talking proud, my wussy boy icon, Ducky. And now I look around and I see other wussy boys living large and proud of who they are. Jake Gyllenhaal and Donnie Darko, wussy boy. Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker and Spider-Man, wussy boy. And Lord God, King of the wussy boy movement, Elijah Wood as Frodo Baggins in The Lord of the Rings, wussy boy. Unafraid to prove to all of Middle Earth that two wussy hobbits can take the Dark Lord down. Now, I'm no longer ashamed of my wussiness. Hell no, I am empowered by it. When I'm at the stoplight and some redneck testosterone methamphetamine jock frat boy butthead dump jerk pulls up beside me cranking his Trans Am stereo with power chord anthems to big boobs and date rape, I no longer avoid his eyesight. Hell no. I just crank all 12 watts of my car stereo and I rock out right to his face. I am human and I need to be loved, just like everybody else does. I am Wussy Boy. That was either Kermit the Frog or Morrissey, I don't know. Oh, Morrissey here. I am Wussy Boy. Hear me roar. Wow! Bar fight? Shoot, you think you could take me, huh? Just because I like poetry better than Sports Illustrated? Well, allow me to caution you, for I am not the average, everyday, run-of-the-mill wussy boy you beat up in high school, punk. I am wuss core. Don't make me get Renaissance on your ass, because I will freaking write a poem about you. A poem that will tear your psyche limb from limb, that exposes your selfish insecurities, that will wound you deeper and more severely than knives and chains and gats and baseball bats could ever hope to do. You may see 65 inches of wussy boy standing in front of you, but my steel-toed soul is 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Bring the pain, punk. Beat the shit out of me. Show everybody in this bar what a real man can do to a smack-talking wussy boy like me. But you'd better remember, my bruises will fade, my cuts will heal, my scars will shrink and disappear. But my poem about the pitiful, small, helpless cockman oppressor you really are will last forever, biatch. Thank you, guys. It's Erin Livingston. Come up here. That's Erin Livingston. So check it out. Thank you to Quimby for letting us do here. Hi, thank you, Quimby. That's Quimby. Hi, Quimby. He started it. Please put your name on our email list and we'll send you stuff, but no spam. And if you would like to buy books, boy oh boy, we're kind of needing it. So come and check out our books, and otherwise, be safe. Thanks.
All right.
Hey, check out our freaky styly tripod. Isn't that cool? Like you can like wrap it around stuff and stuff.
And stuff.
Dun, 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 dun. No, it's gonna fall.
Erin. Jessica. Ade. Yeah. You're ready to Cleveland too?
To Cleveland next. And we spent about a week in Indiana.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh no, it's